All our viewers out there, you're watching News 9 Live and I am Shriya Kundu here with all the latest updates of the hour from across the nation and around the world. And well, we are standing at the precipice of the phase 6 of the Lok Sabha elections, and right now on your screens you can see President Draupadi Murmu also voting at the polling booth, exercising her democratic right in the nation. And well, this is the penultimate phase of voting. This is the 6th phase out of the 7 phases of the Lok Sabha polls of 2024. And these are some of the visuals of all the leaders that we were taking you through, of different parties that have been voting, that have been casting their vote since this morning. And this on your screens currently is Atishi Marlena, the Delhi minister, who's also visited the polling station to cast her vote. On your screens right now is the 3rd generation of the Gandhi family. This is Priyanka Gandhi's son and daughter, who are also at the polling station. Remember, the youth this time form a massive number for the elections to take place. And their votes, as the Prime Minister has mentioned again and again, do make a difference for the democracy. And this on your screens is the President of our country having exercised her democratic right, having cast her vote. And these are the visuals of her coming out of the station after having cast her vote. A democratic right that all the leaders of our country have time and again urged the people to exercise in the 6th phase of the ongoing Lok Sabha polls. Now, polling is underway for all the seats in Delhi and Haryana. The total polling is underway in 58 constituencies across 8 states. Polling in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag-Rajouri, which was adjourned in phase 3, is also a part of the 6th phase. Now, as many as 889 candidates are in the fray from these 58 Lok Sabha constituencies. The voting so far has been completed in 25 states and union territories that cover 428 constituencies out of the total 543. The final phase of polling is scheduled for June 1st, with the counting of votes set to take place on June 4th. Polling for 42 assembly constituencies for the Odisha State Legislative Assembly will also take place simultaneously. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has asked concerned chief electoral officers and state authorities to take adequate measures to manage the adverse impact of hot weather or rainfall wherever predicted in the 6th phase of Lok Sabha polls. Because remember, indeed, the northern part of the country currently is going through a severe heat wave. But despite that, while taking all precautions, people across the constituencies that are voting today have been urged to go and exercise their democratic right in the penultimate phase of voting today. Well, before we move on to our esteemed guests who are joining us in this bulletin, we'll just take a look at some of these reactions that have come in so far through the morning of our leaders casting their vote.
करिए, विकसित भारत के लिए वोट करिए, सशक्त राष्ट्र के लिए वोट करिए, भारत माता की जय।
See, all I want to say is that everyone should come out and vote for in as large numbers as possible, because this is our power, this is our democracy, and to make democracy even more powerful, I think it's important for people to come out and vote in large numbers.
And the way this government has performed, you're confident of them coming?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with honesty and development is very important, and the way government has worked in the last 10 years, yes, they have worked for the development, the country has moved forward, and hopefully people will realize that as well, and people will do that today as well, especially the people of Delhi.
अच्छी सुबह हुई है, सुबह से ही लोग अपने अपने बूथ पे जमा हैं। मैं यहाँ से सीधे जाऊँगा अपने वोट करने घोंडा विधानसभा में, जमुना बिहार। और कहते हैं ना कि जब भगवान सूर्य के किरणों से जैसे ही साक्षात्कार हुआ, ऐसा महसूस हो रहा है कि ये देश के लिए आज बहुत बड़ा योगदान दिल्ली का भी होने जा रहा है। ऐसा महसूस कर रहा हूँ।
Well, with that, let's move on to our esteemed panel. Joining me on the broadcast is Jayant Bhattacharya, senior journalist, and we also have KV Prasad, senior journalist, on the broadcast with us currently. Well, very good morning to both you gentlemen. Well, very firstly, today is the 6th phase of polling, and if we look at the situations currently, it seems a little tense in Jammu and Kashmir. So I will come to KV Prasad first. Mr. Prasad, we see PDP's chief Mehbooba Mufti already coming out with allegations with regards to the EVM. Today the polling is to take place in Anantnag-Rajouri. How are we looking at the fight that is to be put up between the two candidates there of the PDP and the NC with regards to this particular constituency? And it's a very important battlefield for both.
Yeah, you're right. The fact that Anantnag was postponed from the 3rd phase to the 6th phase because the Election Commission found the weather conditions and campaigning was not possible. At that point of time, too, there was some issue about the whole rescheduling. If you keep it aside, yes, this was one seat everybody was looking forward, also for the fact because both PDP and National Conference are part of the India Alliance. So the alliance partners could not boil down to agreeing to one candidate. So that's why you see. But then the fact is, if you look at the politics of Jammu and Kashmir, both PDP and National Conference have had their, what you call, a majority of their presence in this part of this, in the valley area. So naturally, both would not like to lose that space and try and test political waters for its own political understanding of how the state has, or rather, sorry, the Union Territory has changed post the 370 removal. So this is more or less a political fight between the NC and the PDP. And remember, both Mehbooba ji was the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, ran a government with the BJP alliance some time ago. So there are other issues to her, but of course the BJP is not in contest, but it is backing some other political parties in the valley. So it looks to be an interesting battle on that count.
Absolutely, Mr. Prasad. In fact, we also have Manasvi Thapar, advocate and political analyst, joining us on the broadcast to continue with this discussion. But Mr. Thapar, I will come to you. But before that, I'll just move on to Mr. Bhattacharya. Mr. Bhattacharya, if we also look at West Bengal and the particular constituencies that are the seats that are going to be voted for today, it is the Jungle Mahal area that is highly being looked at today, and the fight there has been quite intense in 2014, 2019, with BJP also making their inroads. How are we looking at the particular fight in the Jungle Mahal area in this particular phase?
Yes, you are right. This area is called the Jungle Mahal because of the forest, and this borders mostly Jharkhand and to some extent Bihar as well. Odisha mainly. Now, this area, if you remember, was infested with Maoists, but with the coming of the new government in 2011, it has been more or less eliminated. Since that time, even before, BJP cadres, or I would say RSS cadres, have done quite a lot among the tribals. And perhaps that is one reason that the BJP has gained seats over here. Not only gained, in fact, they may do a little better because in East Midnapur, there are two important seats, that is Tomluk and Kathi. Now in Tomluk, we all know there is a former judge, a High Court judge who is contesting, who took retirement earlier and then joined the BJP and is now contesting. Kathi, we know that the Trinamool Congress had won with his very senior leader, Shishir Adhikari. He had won there, but this time he is not contesting. His youngest son, his second son, he is the leader of opposition, Shubhendu Adhikari. This is his youngest son who would be contesting. So I have a feeling that these two constituencies, the BJP does have an edge. But if you go in among all these constituencies that are going to poll in this particular phase, I think Ghatal is the only constituency where film actor Dev is contesting from the Trinamool Congress, holds a kind of an edge, if we can put it that way. So I think in phase 6 in West Bengal, the BJP definitely holds an edge, but we have to wait and see. Obviously, no one can predict what the electors are thinking.
Absolutely, Mr. Bhattacharya. Well, we'll get into the depths of West Bengal further just later. But right now, we also have visuals coming in of the Vice President of our country, Jagdeep Dhankar, exercising his democratic right. He is at the polling station as well. He is there to cast his vote, and only a little while back, we had also seen President Draupadi Murmu cast her vote. Quite some crucial leaders that we see today have been spotted since early this morning, beginning with our External Affairs Minister, Jai Shankar, who in fact was the first voter at his polling booth. And currently on your screens, you also have Jagdeep Dhankar on one side, and the other side we have Priyanka Gandhi Wadra's children casting their vote and utilizing their democratic right, exercising their democratic right. And definitely it is the season of democracy, it is the festival of democracy, the Lok Sabha polls of 2024, and we are at the phase 6 of this particular polls that we have been discussing. Well, with that now, let me cut across to our guest, Manasvi Thapar. Mr. Thapar, a very good morning to you. Very firstly, another very crucial 7 seats that we are looking at is of the national capital, Delhi. And as we know, the record has been that back in 2014 and 2019, it's been the BJP dominating over these seats. But given the circumstances this time, in fact, quite an extraordinary circumstance that we saw with Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister, also being given bail for the election campaigning to continue for the Aam Aadmi Party. Do we see the people of Delhi having been influenced with all that's been going on with regards to the Aam Aadmi Party? Is there any inroad that we see, any of the 1 seats from the 7 that we are discussing about Delhi that might be taken over by the Aam Aadmi Party this time?
Understanding of election in the procedure of election, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the factor. In 2024, the thing what have changed is that now Arvind Kejriwal has come out of jail. So is it going to go, the voters' mindset is going to go that it's going to be a sympathy vote coming for Aam Aadmi Party, specifically for Arvind Kejriwal, and the way things have turned out for Aam Aadmi Party? That's one narrative, which is a sympathy factor. The other factor which would be that these people are behind the bars on the charges of corruption. So a party which was a crusader of corruption have been targeted on corruption. So voters could also, their traditional voters could also go against them. So that's a confused vote bank for Aam Aadmi Party. So what is happening is BJP has a fixed vote bank, which yielded votes for BJP in 2014 and 19. 2024, they have a fixed vote bank. So there's nothing against BJP voters for BJP which will go against them. But Aam Aadmi Party's vote bank, which was traditionally Congress's vote bank, is right now is divided into 2 parts. One is there is a sympathy factor that things have not gone right for Arvind Kejriwal. This is against the democracy of our country. And second is a factor which is saying that we believed in Aam Aadmi Party because it was a crusader of corruption. Now they are behind the bars because of charges of corruption. So that's going to be divided vote share for Aam Aadmi Party. Though there is going to be a consolidation because of India Alliance, but the major vote share as of now, which I understand, is of BJP, which is intact, which is not broken. So that's going to be like the result is going to be 2019. That's what my idea is.
Right, Mr. Thapar. Well, thank you for putting that into perspective for our viewers. Well, we'll come back to our esteemed panel, but right now we'll slip into a short break. Do stay tuned to News 9 Live as we keep coming back with all the latest updates of all that's going on for the Phase 6 election of the Lok Sabha polls 2024.
I was ready to be a CEO at 26.
Only the guys with the strongest heads can handle hard situations.
There is a blurring line between arrogance and confidence.
This is the philosophy of FC Bayern Munich.
World premiere on News 9 Live tonight at 9. helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
I don't think anybody has isolated Ajit Dada Pawar. Ajit Dada has isolated himself.
That led to a lot of bad blood between the ruling partners.
It is not true. You know it very well, who these elements are, who these individuals are. And these are the very reasons why you see a division in the party. Now this contest between Supriya Sule and Sunetra Pawar is really a proxy war between uncle and nephew. And it's being fought in the family bastion of Baramati.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Welcome back. You're watching News 9 Live, and at the top of this segment, we continue to keep our focus on the big day that is today, which is the phase 6 of polling taking place across constituencies in the nation. And right now, you can see Aam Aadmi Party's MP, Swati Maliwal, the Rajya Sabha MP, casting her vote as well. And in fact, she had been a part of the headlines for quite a few weeks now, ever since May 13th. The entire incident, the entire assault case came to the alleged assault case against Arvind Kejriwal's aide came forward. And these are the shots of Swati Maliwal now casting her vote in the national capital. Remember, Delhi has all 7 seats going into poll today. Quite a crucial day for the national capital in the Lok Sabha elections of 2024. With that, now let's cut across to our esteemed guests who continue to be with us on the broadcast. Jayant Bhattacharya, we have KV Prasad, and we have Manasvi Thapar with us currently. Well, Mr. Bhattacharya, I'll come back to you first. Over the entire matter that played out in Delhi ever since May 13th, this entire alleged assault case against Swati Maliwal came to the fore. Let's understand if at all that has any bearing on the voters in Delhi today as they go to their polls to exercise their democratic right. Do we see that being also played as a polling issue, or rather influencing the voters that are to be polling in the national capital today?
Because in a way, if you see earlier when Arvind Kejriwal was arrested on the excise duty incident, he sort of tried to become a martyr, and his party also tried to put him up as a martyr. And when he finally got to come out for some time, he got a bail to come out for some time, I think till the 2nd of June, when he has to go back. He again tried to portray himself as the face that has been kind of been at the receiving end of the current...
Mr. Bhattacharya, we'll come back to you. I'm very sorry to interrupt you there, but we have the Vice President speaking currently.
दायित्व भी है, ताकत भी है. भारत विश्व का सबसे ज्वलंत, सक्रिय प्रभावी लोकतंत्र है, दुनिया के लिए एक मिसाल है।
Well, that was the Vice President of our country speaking about exercising and making use of your democratic right of voting. But Mr. Bhattacharya, do continue as you were throwing light upon how the latest events that's unfolded in the national capital may have influence on the voters' mind today as they go to cast their vote in the national capital.
Yes, indeed. As I was saying, that he tried to portray himself as the face of the united opposition. That is, if he gives in, if he resigns as a chief minister, as did the Jharkhand chief minister, then it would be the other chief minister, opposition chief minister, who would be coming on the receiving end of the BJP. So he tried to portray himself a person who has been wronged by the ruling regime, and he was gaining some kind of...
Mr. Bhattacharya, I'm extremely sorry again. We have Swati Maliwal also speaking. Let's just listen into what she's saying.
भागीदारी राजनीति में बहुत जरूरी है।
क्या मुद्दा है? स्वाति, आपके मुद्दे क्या रहे? एक सवाल ले लीजिए, आपके मुद्दे क्या रहे?
Swati wants to be highlighted.
Well, that is Rajya Sabha MP Swati Maliwal also reiterating the importance of voting, of casting your vote. But she refuses to speak up on any other issue today, because today is mostly about the phase 6 of the elections currently underway in the country, which is the Lok Sabha polls of 2024. Mr. Bhattacharya, I beg your pardon, but please do continue with your thoughts on the entire matter.
I think that this particular incident that she has brought forward will have an impact and perhaps adversely on the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, if you look at this particular incident, this not only has come against Arvind Kejriwal, but in a way it has painted the party as a whole in a different perspective. Because this is a party which has come for a cleaner politics, for a better situation. But what we find here is not only the party is divided, but there are the members, the leaders are casting aspersions against each other. And here is a person who has been holding the post of the Delhi Women's Commission, fighting for the rights of the women. And today she is a Rajya Sabha MP on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party. So here she is alleging that she has been wrong, not only wrong, physically attacked. For whatever reason, the details, of course, is yet to come out, and we are yet to see. What we hear are the two sides of the story. But yes, coming to the point, what you pointed out, yes, I will agree to that this is going to have a bearing on the final outcome on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party.
Right, Mr. Bhattacharya. Well, definitely time will tell. June 4th is when the mandate will be set, and it will come out in the open with regards to whether or not indeed it's played a bearing on the voters in the national capital. But right now, I will move on to Mr. Prasad. Mr. Prasad, let's also take a look at Haryana currently. The situation in Haryana, if we look at their state assembly, it's been quite a tussle, quite a turmoil and a turbulent period for them. But if we speak of the Lok Sabha polls that are currently underway, we have while Congress hadn't won in the previous elections from this particular state, this time we see Congress fielding 9 of their candidates and 1 candidate being put up against BJP's Naveen Jindal, the stalwart. We have Aam Aadmi Party's Sushil Gupta facing him in Kurukshetra. How is this battle to play out between the two, and do you think the decision of putting up Sushil Gupta against the member of the Aam Aadmi Party against stalwart like Naveen Jindal may backfire on the India bloc?
Well, I'm not too sure about that, because Mr. Jindal was in the Congress party. He represented the Congress party twice from Haryana, and now he has switched his political loyalty to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Sushil Gupta remained with the Aam Aadmi Party and is a combined candidate taking on Mr. Jindal. Of course, Mr. Jindal is an industrialist, and we understand Mr. Gupta also has a good financial background. So that being aside, overall, if you look at Haryana, I think the BJP is facing a tougher battle this time, primarily because it has the government in the state for the last 10 years. Very recently, we all know it affected a change of chief minister, bringing in Mr. Saini, who was a former member of parliament, as the and Mr. Khattar is now contesting from Karnal, which by all accounts is seen to be a tougher battle. The Prime Minister had to also went and campaigned in that region. So Haryana is a battleground, and remember there is a split because the JJP, which was once with the BJP, has now separated.
Right,
the
Mr.
Jat
Prasad.
votes do matter.
Right, Mr. Prasad. Sorry to cut you short there. We are actually running out of time, so we will come for a closing remark from Manasvi Thapar as well. Mr. Thapar, just quickly, if you could take our focus to Odisha and the battlegrounds, wherein we also have a union minister being fielded from there today, which is Dharmendra Pradhan. If you could just take us through the situation in Odisha and how might the battlegrounds play out there. Mr. Manasvi Thapar, we can't hear you. If you could just unmute yourself.
I'm sorry for that.
No worries. Yes, continue.
Yeah, Odisha is a BJP versus BJD battle. It's not about the India Alliance. India Alliance does not have strong candidates or grassroots level understanding in the Odisha region. It has traditionally been a bastion of BJD, and now also BJP is there. But somehow the understanding, the conversation between the BJD and BJP has also flopped, and in the recent what we have seen, the narrative from the Prime Minister's side. So that is where the consolidation which will help the BJD, not the India Alliance, but I feel the BJD would be the leading front in the Odisha, and second would be the BJP, and third, one seat or something can come to India Alliance, which is a rarity,
right.
But still we can think that. But a strong is of BJD, and BJD is going to be the winning factor for that.
Right, Mr. Thapar, Mr. Bhattacharya and Mr. Prasad, thank you so much for giving us all those insights into the penultimate phase of the Lok Sabha polls of 2024, which is phase 6. And with that, now we come to an end to this bulletin. But do stay tuned to News 9 Live as we come back with more through the day on this special day of the phase 6 elections that is on currently.
Brought to you by WeGod, co-powered by Sensodyne, associate sponsor Ultratech Cement and Vimal, Bolo Zuma Kesari.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.